Casino. TK joining us in front of that wall of wine over there at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge, right there off of Airline Highway near Parkview Baptist. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood for all your tailgate needs. I'm coming to you from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame studios. And on Sports Shorts Daily today, we'll get into, of course, the weekend festivities. LSU getting set for, McNeese tomorrow. Will there be over-under? What do you think the over-under should be, TK? 65? 65,000? Is that a good over-under?
Yeah, I think that would be a good over and under number because I kind of told somebody the other day I think roughly 60,000 would be there. A friend of mine guessed 65. So I think you're in the ballpark there.
Also, last night, NFL gets started, and what a game it was, unless you were like my dumbass and you had the Bucs minus 8.5, then it didn't end up good. But it was a hell of a game. Dak Prescott, coming off of that injury, was super impressive, played one of the better games of his career, set up record for completions in game one of a season, broke Peyton Manning's old record for first game deal. I tell you what, it was a fantastic matchup. And Tom, terrific. 49th come from behind win. The Bucs get there. We'll talk about that. Also, Drew Brees' hairdo causing quite a stir. TK, he doesn't have the coif like you do. His coif is closer to mine, and he obviously got a little enhancement. Maybe a little enhancement.
I guess NBC told him, "Hey, Drew, you got to look a little younger than that." So he either got hair transplants or a toupee, and like most every toupee we've all seen in our lives, it looks god-awful. A lot of Saints fans ripping him on the internet, a lot of national sports fans ripping him. I mean, come on, man. I don't know. I guess that's his choice, but I thought he looked pretty silly.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, TK, we'll get in his performance, not just his hair as well. Also, the oldest dude on TikTok, Tommy Christan, hit another one last night. Had the Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays on the over 8.5. Had to sweat it a little bit. Made it interesting that the Yankees had to homer twice in the bottom of the ninth and a loss to cover, but they got it done. So TK was a winner, and I was as well, as I followed his lead.
You know how in baseball they always post the last 10 games, how did the team do? I'm 9-1 on my last 10 baseball picks as the oldest dude on TikTok. Now, I'm smart enough to know I could be 1-9 in the next 10. And I do want to mention to folks, if you'd like to bet on football, college and NFL picks are available. Meatandpotatoesusa.com. Meatandpotatoesusa.com. All the stuff is posted for the weekend. So go have some fun with that. Now, I'll throw everybody a little free pick here. That's a Sports Shorts Daily Friday free pick. And I'm not going to pick the LSU game. I mean, we can't find a line. I think you'll be able to find a line later tonight. It'll probably be about 30 to 34 would be my guess.
Oh, more than that, Tommy. More than that. Oh,
40, 42?
First off, I'm not so sure you're going to be able to find a line. I think you think so, but I mean, a 1AA school. I mean,
You find a line, but there's a limit on the bet. Like let's say they come out and say it's LSU minus 40. If you go to the window in Vegas, they might let you put $500 on, but they're not going to let you drop $20,000 on it. There's a limit. Same thing they do with the WNBA because they know it's silly. There's a limit on how much you can bet.
Well, whatever the line is, you should take LSU. It doesn't matter what it is. It's kind of like Alabama first half line, which I couldn't find because, again, they're playing Mercer.
You're not going to find the first half on that.
But let's get to last night's opening game of the year. What was your takeaway, Tommy, of what you saw game one between the defending Super Bowl champs who amazingly return all their starters? I don't know if that's ever happened, but they return all their starters.
Well, the first thing I take away is the Buccaneers are 1-0. They're in the Saints division, and the Cowboys are 0-1. I take that away. Also, Brady was Brady, but I got to say, Dak Prescott performed a lot better than I thought and other people thought with no preseason coming off that gruesome ankle injury, then the shoulder issues in August. But, man, he really looked sharp. He looked confident. The body language was good. But, they don't have a run game. And Elliott's, he's done. He's washed up. They need to get rid of him and get a real running back. The Cowboys do. He just is so slow now, and he can't move, and he won't go north-south. I mean, that affected it. But, in many ways, the Cowboys outplayed the Buccaneers. At halftime, they were saying the Cowboys should have been up a couple touchdowns. Missed two field goals, missed an extra point. I mean, and then bottom line is the Buccaneers won. That was what the goal was. But Prescott was impressive. The Buccaneers were the Buccaneers. Devin White had a big game, and he's become a vocal leader on the defense for the Buccaneers. And that's a team the Saints will have to play twice, as we know. And, hey, they're 1-0. Cowboys are 0-1. I like the Cowboys 0-1. I'm just not a Cowboys fan.
I tell you what, I was in a pickle. Tommy, because obviously I don't like any team that's in the division for the Saints, and so you got to pull against them as a Saints fan if you want Saints to have any chance in the division, that sort of thing. But at the same time, I hate the Cowboys. So it was kind of like I went with the money. I put some money on the Bucs to cover. They did not, but so that was where I was. But when it got to the end, when it was in that last drive after the Cowboys had kicked the field goal with a minute to go to give them the lead, and I knew I wasn't going to cover my bet, then I became a Cowboys fan because you want to think as a Saints fan, hey, we want the Bucs to lose in the division. And then amazingly, Tom does what he does and his 49th come from behind victory and sets up that game-winning field goal. Couldn't have been a better game for the NFL to start the season. I'm curious what the ratings were. They had to be good because it was a fantastic game. And Dak Prescott, who people have been very critical of, he's put up the good numbers, hasn't done it in the playoffs, had the injury. Cowboys kind of contemplated for a couple of years. Do we give him that big contract? Do we make him our future quarterback, forever? They finally did. And look, he rewarded him. I thought he was fantastic. The thing that surprised me, Tommy, was how accurate he was the entire game.
Yeah, especially without the preseason reps. And, it's not that he didn't throw a football, but, the game action, albeit preseason. Again, I think he performed better than I thought, and that a lot of people thought, even maybe some Cowboy fans. But you're right, Ronnie. If you're a Saints fan, you had to be hoping the Cowboys won because you're in the division with the Buccaneers. But it didn't work out. Now the Saints, they're going to turn their focus to the Packers. That's a 3:25 game on Sunday, a little afternoon delight, not a lunchtime game.
So let's talk a little bit about the Drew Brees hairdo. First, it's funny how social media kind of went crazy with this. Drew actually posted a picture of himself at the barbershop a couple days ago, getting a buzz, and that may have been his way of kind of softening the blow about the hairdo because it allowed people to see his hair and think, hey, what's going on? But Drew went the way of LeBron James, I guess, and he did the same thing. What got that hairline going, huh?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure if it's hair transplants or what, toupee or
it's transplant.
It's transplant. Okay, they put them plugs in there, whatever you guys do that don't have hair. So I don't know, man. I just
whoa. I mean, come on, Tommy. I mean, you got to rub it in our face that you happen to have the au naturel coif from 1978 still going.
It's plenty gray, but it hadn't turned loose yet. But no, so I don't know. There was a lot of talk about it. Drew Brees. I'm just curious if Drew Brees said, "Hey, let me do this," or if NBC said, "Hey, you gotta we gotta make you look a little younger here." I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Might not ever know. Rachel says the thing that I'm surprised about, Tommy, is that I guess I'm not shocked. I mean, at this day and age, but I always thought Drew, he didn't care, that's who he was. But I'm surprised though that there isn't a product with everything we've got going on in the world that there isn't a product that just you can spray or rub a cream on your hair and it grows. I mean, we got the chia, they got the Chia Pet thing that's been around for decades. With whoever invents the hair cream, the hair spray, the hair comb that truly works, not all the BS that's at CVS right here seen on TV. I'm talking about the stuff that really works, Tommy. Is going to be a gazillionaire, even more than Gamecoin, which is
the coin everybody should be buying out there right now, the cryptocurrency. But I'm telling you, Tommy, that I'm just surprised that manufacturers, scientists haven't figured out a cream or a spray to give men hair growth, because it would be bigger than Microsoft.
Yeah, it would be a seller, a top-notch seller. I have no doubt about that. But obviously, nobody's been able to come up with that. Maybe you should work on that, Ronnie. You and Joel Davis should start a company that does that.
Yeah, Joel and I would kill each other if we tried to work on a project, anything like that. But anyway, I thought Drew did a good job, though. So hair aside, the shocker of the little boy hairdo. I thought he did a good job. It doesn't surprise me. Now, is he going to be as entertaining as Tony Romo from a standpoint of goofiness or funny? I don't know. I don't think so. I think year one, he's going to be a little bit more get to the business, and it may come more natural year two. But I thought he did a good job, and I think he's going to do a great job in the Notre Dame games, and then, of course, in studio on Sundays.
Well, I would just say this. This goes for you, me, and anybody who wants to do something like this. You just got to be yourself. Drew Brees has got to be Drew Brees. He can't try to be Tony Romo or anybody else for that matter. Just go be Drew Brees, and if it doesn't turn out, they'll get rid of him. I mean, it's all about ratings and eyeballs watching, and he just got to be himself. And I'm sure he knows that. I'm not telling him anything he doesn't know. But, you see some of these young guys who try to imitate Chris Berman or Al Michaels or Bob Costas or one of the legendary announcers. That's not the way to go do it. I was told this 40 years ago by, people like Keith Rush in New Orleans, a radio icon, and others that helped me. Said, hey, just be TK. Don't try to be anybody else. And if it works, it works.
The Tampa Bay Bucs, were you surprised more at their struggles, Tommy, and that it took all 60 minutes to win the game, or were you more surprised at how good the Cowboys looked?
More surprised at how good the Cowboys were. I think the Cowboys, again, a lot of people say they outplayed the Buccaneers. They didn't win on the scoreboard, which is the most important thing, but there were times when they were just taking it to the Buccaneers, and but Tom Brady, you might not bet on him, but you shouldn't bet against him, although they did not cover last night. And I laid off of the game because it was 8.5 and it went to 9 when I looked a little while before kickoff. I went, I'm just going to stay away. Sometimes that's a smart move, and it paid off because if I was going to wager, it was going to be on the Buccaneers.
I almost went the Cowboys' way. My thought process on the game, and of course I lost, was that, it was going to be the coronation of the Super Bowl team at home. Everybody, was back. That we were hearing reports that the offense was just clicking fantastically, and it was pretty good for the Bucs. They had a couple turnovers, one of them being Leonard Fournette's fault, and that caused some issues. But and I think that was the difference in the game. Obviously, the Bucs defense didn't play as well as we thought, too. Again, whenever you have continuity in the NFL and you get all these guys that are back, particularly from a team that had success, and look at the way they shut down the Saints last year in the playoffs, you thought that maybe that was going to be different. It wasn't. I give the Cowboys a lot of credit. But think back to last year. The Bucs were not very good the first half of the year. I mean, they were mediocre. They were mediocre plus. People kept waiting, for when are the Bucs going to look like Tom Brady's on the team? And then finally they did the second half of the year and then the playoffs. So when you're the defending Super Bowl champ and you've been celebrating and all that, maybe it takes you a little bit to get going. But how about Gronk and Antonio Brown, these, superstars from 5 years ago that retired and then came back? I mean, it all came together. Antonio Brown at first half looked like his old self. Gronk looked like his old self the entire game. I mean, that's scary considering all the young new pieces they have as well.
Well, I think Bruce Arians would be the first to tell you that there's some things they got to fix after game one, just like we heard Coach Orgeron say there's things that LSU has to fix. But the bottom line, the Buccaneers won. And, they got the couple of extra days now because of the Thursday night game to prepare for their second game. And I'm sure they, internally they got a lot of things they want to fix. But that's part of football at all levels. I mean, you go play a game and there's things you got to correct.
So tell me this: what's your takeaway on how many wins they're going to have? I mean, are we looking at a 14-2, 13-3, one of those numbers,
For who?
or better
For the Buccaneers?
for the Bucs?
Oh, well, they're playing 17 games. I think they're going to win 13 or 14 for sure. But football, man, it's hard to win.
14-3.
Yeah, I would think that's especially now that they're 1-0, so one of them's out the way against a good, a team that looks better than people thought. So I think they got a shot to win 14, which not good news for the Saints because I don't think the Saints are going to get in the neighborhood of 14.
No. I am excited though about the Saints. What's the line on that game, Tommy, against the Packers?
Down to 3.5. It was riding at 4 all week. 3.5 this morning when I looked. The Packers are the favorite, albeit in Jacksonville in the Saints' home game. Curious about like LSU, which we'll talk to in a minute. I'm curious about the crowd in Jacksonville. I mean, the stadium's not going to be full.
Not going to be any crowd.
There could be 20,000 people there, maybe.
Yeah, 20, 25 at the most.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know how you don't bet on the Packers. I mean, as much as we're Saints homers, and I think that line is a little low because of the respect that the Saints have had and garnered winning their division 4 straight years. They still are the Saints. It still has some cachet around the league. But with everything that they lost in the cap room and no Michael Thomas and, who's going to play cornerback opposite Lattimore game 1? Like, I think that number is a little lower because of the respect that the Saints have. But I'm going to actually put money on the Packers as much as it kills me.
Yeah, well, that would probably be a smart idea. I've still got to look at all that.
The LSU Tigers in Tiger Stadium tomorrow, over under 65,000 against McNeese. If you're a gambling man, you take the over or the under?
If it's 65, I'm gonna go under. Okay, I don't know. Just based on just the little feeling you get, the vibes, and somebody told me this morning here at Ronnie, the bunch was sitting around talking that he got a call at like 2. Somebody had 2 parking passes for RVs that they weren't going to use. Did they know anybody that wanted them? And then hey, I think it's going to be under 65,000. Now, LSU hopes I'm wrong, because they want the tickets and the tickets to be sold and the people to be there. There's a 2-part thing. If the tickets are sold and nobody goes, that affects the revenue as well, because I think they got it figured out. It's like $22 a person spent at the concession stand. Well, times 70,000 people, 22 is an average, times 70,000 people, that's a lot of money at the concession stand. So there's lots of, they don't sell programs no more. Everybody's got it on the phone and the internet. So I'd go under 65,000, and that would be what I'm curious about. The tailgating, and then B, how many people are actually in the stadium.
Well, you told me that the reason you thought the under because you had 1 million phone calls with people selling tickets.
Yeah, I had nobody looking for tickets. Everybody's like, hey, and then last night on social media, hey, I got 4 on the west side, message me. I've got 2. A couple people I know that have season tickets that thought about giving them up. Some people did give them up. I know people gave up tickets that had them for 25, 30 years. They just got tired of everything coming out of LSU. Some other people said they have them, but they don't know if they're going to go to the game yet. The weather obviously got a little bit cooler last night. It might not be blistering hot come 7 o'clock Saturday night in Tiger Stadium.
And then there's the vaccine issues. A lot of people
are just, hey, everybody's got their own choice about that. You're vaccinated, I'm vaccinated. So if I wanted to go to the game, I could get in. I got it on the old LA wallet on the phone, which is one of the requirements. But a lot of people told me, hey, I'm not, whether they're vaccinated or not, they just don't like the way it's being handled.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna take the over, but just a slight lean on the over. Just I think game 1, and I think the people from Lake Charles are going to be excited about going and everything. So I'm gonna take the over on that.
I got a question for you. Here's another question for you. Yes or no? Does Garrett Nussmeier play?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they get way up, I mean, you think they get him some snaps, so they can give him a little experience in case they do have to turn to him one day. So you think you'll see Garrett Nussmeier get some snaps.
Yeah, I think 100% he's going to play. I mean, first off, you're going to have a blowout for sure. The question is just what kind of quality does he play? Does he get in the third quarter? Does he get in at the beginning of the fourth and they let him throw it 5 or 6 times? That's the issue. Is he going to play? He's definitely going to play. Okay. And I guess the only thing I can say to that is it just depends on the score. I think they get up. I don't think you're going to see Coach O go crazy. I mean, this is a team. His friend is the coach. His son's the player. So I think they're going to be very conservative. We're going to be disappointed in what we see out of Nussmeier in the second half. I think it's going to be just a lot of handoff, get the game over with, send McNeese back with a check and a respectable score.
Well, and then that brings up a second part of the question of the over and under on the attendance. What's the attendance actually in the second half? Let's say LSU's up 42-0 or 35-3 at half.
20,000.
then you're looking like you could have moved the game to Memorial and fit everybody in there.
By the way, last year when the LSU played its games with all the COVID issues, the actual attendance was like around 20,000. So, second half, you're looking at something like that for sure. He's Tommy. Tell us about Tremonti's.
Yeah, if you're heading out there tailgating or you're having a party at the house, all your platters, meat pies, crawfish pies, boudin wraps, catfish, shrimp, chicken tenders, cake balls. Those are great little snacks for a little sweet dessert. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood has it all. Stop by on Jefferson Highway or connect on Facebook and Instagram. But it's 12451 Jefferson Highway, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. They got the full meat case. They got all the wine and liquor you might need. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, getting it done tomorrow. They got barbecue ribs, baby back ribs for the lunch special. So do check that out. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget about my podcast, Talking Sports with TK. And, of course, the website, meatandpotatoesusa.com, where you can go get some winning picks on football all weekend long, college and pro. And, Ronnie, I look forward to Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning. We're going to have the whole crew out at the Stadium Club at LeBare's Casino.
Yeah, we'll be there from 10 to noon. Come see us. By the way, Latavius Murray finds a home with the Ravens, gets picked up by them. And the Ravens now become the official place where all former Saints players go. Remember, Ingram left and he went there. Now Murray. Also, Cam Newton said in an interview he was completely caught off guard, shocked, surprised. He got released from the Patriots. I'm sure he was. We all were as well. And you were going to give the fans out there a pick.
You want a freebie? Sports Shorts Daily, oldest dude on TikTok. Here you go. You ready? Texas A&M, Colorado go over 50, over 50.
Say that one again.
Texas A&M at Colorado over 50.
Over 50. All right, I'm gonna write that down. A&M, Colorado over 50. I'm adding it to my list of picks to click this weekend.
The oldest dude
all right, TK, we'll check up on Monday morning. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and good luck to the Saints and Tigers. We'll see you Monday, everybody.